What's up, everyone? Welcome to the King's Capital. Hope you all had a great trading week. It was a bit of an interesting week, little choppy because we had some news. It seemed like the market was just kind of waiting on, and so sometimes when that happens, you don't get the moves till later in the week, or the market kind of chops around, stops you out here and there, and then finally gives you the move you were looking for. But here we are. It is Saturday, September 16th. I am happy to be here and happy to break down some charts. I'm not going to do anything too much with DXY. It's doing essentially what we talked about last week. We took out this liquidity here, and I think we're targeting for sure 105.883. Now, when I'm talking about liquidity, guys, is just honestly, simply, it's just liquidity is orders or money in the market. It can be in the form of volume. It can be in the form of pending orders just sitting there. That is all we're talking about when we're talking about liquidity, is money in the market. Now, when we're analyzing charts, what we mean by liquidity, it's a bit subjective, right? We're looking for places we anticipate there to be orders. So if we were looking at DXY and we're looking at this high and we're targeting it because we anticipate there to be stop losses above here, or what would be stop buys, right? Because if somebody was short, they would have a stop buy as a stop loss. So, when we're looking and breaking down other charts and I start talking about liquidity, I'm simply referring to it in the terms of breaking down and analyzing from a technical standpoint where I think stop losses, etc., would be, where pending orders in the market would be. So that's what I mean by liquidity. So that's what we're targeting here. Above that, we've got 107.993. The dollar's still bullish, and we do have some news this week. Let me go ahead and go to Euro real quick. And before I jump on the weekly, let's look at the daily and see what kind of news we're looking at coming into the week. And then what I think I might do is just completely clean this chart up. Look, I got all the trades I needed out of this chart. It's messy. It's ugly. Yep, there was our Michigan consumer sentiment. Now, coming up this week, we have building permits on the 19th. We have Fed interest rate decision. Right now, we're at 5.5. I think the market is anticipating it staying the same, right? I think there's still demand on the market, probably more than they want. Jobs are definitely taking a hit, so it's a little mixed, but I don't think the expectation is that they're going to raise rates. But I also don't think they're going to lower rates anytime soon. So I think the market, and it seems like the sentiment is, we're going to maintain 5.5. So we'll have to see what happens. That's on the 20th, which is, what's today, the 16th. So the 20th is, let me check my calendar real quick, that Wednesday? Yeah, that's Wednesday. So again, last week we had CPI out on Wednesday, and the market just kind of chopped around until that came out. And actually, it chopped around then until Thursday when PPI came out. Now, we could have a similar scenario here this coming week where Monday and Tuesday, the market's really not doing a whole lot. It's really just holding its breath to see what happens with this Fed rate decision. So that's what we have coming up this week. I'll definitely be on for that. HCOB manufacturing PMI. So we got some Euro PMI coming up this week. Let's start breaking down. Let's start breaking this down. All right. I'm just gonna start clearing some stuff off. Let's get rid of this daily order block. In fact, you know what? Let's just remove all drawings. We're fresh, guys. Close that. Here's what we got for Euro, right? So like I said earlier, we kind of came up into this order block on the weekly time frame. This is also a 61.8, so we're just going to kind of put some stuff back on here to give us a larger frame of reference. Cool. Yep, we were in. We don't need a 50%. Right, so this is kind of OTE territory on a large Euro time frame. Clearly, we are very bearish as we have taken out this liquidity here. Oh, just almost. We closed below this, though, right? So I talked about this last week. Usually when I'm looking at trends, like sometimes things will wick below and then keep pushing higher. When candles, especially large candles like a weekly candle, start closing below levels, then it's like, okay, we're going down. But my anticipation is we're targeting this low. Looks like we tapped it, actually. Let me zoom way in on this. Yeah, we've spiked through this low. So target achieved, right? So if you were in a sell in Euro, close it out. I think I have a tiny runner on. I don't know why. I'll probably just close it out, honestly. And look for some kind of retrace coming into this week. Now, if here's something we can anticipate potentially, right? So another thing to be looking out for is, because we have that red Fed interest rate decision or red folder news on Wednesday, we could get a rally before that. And then assuming the Fed rate decision stays the same, that's still bullish for the dollar, right? That's still a high interest rate. Then we get our sell-off on Euro. But my expectation is more downside for Euro. again, targeting an old low, right? So again, when talking about liquidity, places that we're looking for pending orders in the market would be above old highs, below old lows. So this is what I'm looking at, 105, 1.05162 as an old low to target for Euro USD. Now, how long it takes to get there, I don't know. But we are bearish and still bullish on the dollar. So that's our narrative. That's our bias. So any trades we're taking, we want to couch it within that bias. Okay. We did have this weekly order block right here. So I'll just mark that out. Put that there. Weekly OB. Cool. And I just put a video out about order blocks on my Instagram at the King's Capital, just a 60-second breakdown. Here's what an order block is. Why does it exist? I think the next video I'll do is, well, how do we trade them, right? Great, cool, that's what it is, but what do I do with it? So that's what I'll be doing next, and I'll probably come out with that maybe sometime later this week, but cool. Here we are in the daily Euro weekly order block. We don't need this line here. We get it. Cool, let's get rid of that and clean it up. We snagged this liquidity right there. And then the market paused, right? So we were short this market from here this week, right? And I did a video midweek, like, because I got chopped around a little on this. Sorry for the sniffles, guys. My buddy Rick was like, hey, man, you got the sniffles. I'm like, dude, I'm stuffed right now. Anyways, so my apologies if you're hearing that. But target achieved on this trade, right? I mean, let's pull our fib. We came into premium, OTE right here at the 61.8, and then down and hit that minus 27 extension. So we're good there. That's done. What do we have next, though? Right? What do we have next for Euro? That's what I want to know. What kind of trade am I looking at coming into this week? Well, let's go ahead and put our 50% on because we want to know if I'm going to sell Euro, I want to sell it in premium, right? I don't want to sell Euro cheap. I want to sell Euro when it's a bit more expensive. We do have this fair value gap on the daily, so let's go ahead and mark that out. And if you don't know what a fair value gap is, I have another video on that as well. I have a 3-part series on fair value gaps, just 60 seconds quickly explaining what it is. And then I have a video on how to trade a fair value gap, right? So go ahead and check that out on my Instagram. Again, if you're seeing this on YouTube, go ahead and find it. It's at the King's Capital on Instagram. It's got like a little yellow goldish emblem thing that I'm going to get replaced at some point because whatever, it's just kind of a placeholder logo thing. But cool. So we have this daily fair value gap. Let's go ahead and write that in, right? So we're just kind of breaking down this chart from scratch. This is kind of my process, right? We were at the weekly to get our large narrative. Our daily is also bearish. There's our narrative. So here we go. Daily FVG. There's a daily fair value gap. We're at premium. We do have this breaker block right here as well, right? So we could mark that out. It might get a little messy, but whatever. For the sake of this, let's just go ahead and mark that out, right? So we got this breaker as well in here, right? So this is kind of our zone, guys. We're starting to build a narrative for the market coming into this week. I don't love all these lines, but we're going to keep that in mind, right? So let's just keep that in mind right here. This is our breaker block, right? We kind of pushed up, broke through. This was that last like order block kind of candle before we broke through. So therefore it's our breaker block. Let's dip down in the 4 hour. Cool. So the 4 hour also lines up with our daily fair value gap. We have this large liquidity void right here where price just ran and just kept going. Didn't really fill in price, like all through here, price is getting filled in and it's super just efficient, right? So this is a big sell side inefficiency, right? So this would be more of a SIBI, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency or whatever, sell side inefficiency. No, yeah, anyways, a SIBI, right? So here we go, guys. So I pointed out that larger breaker block on the daily time frame. Here's the one I'd actually be interested in on the 4 hour. And what I like about this is that it lines up with our OTE 61.8. This 4 hour, so let me get rid of this daily FVG. Let me only make it visible on the daily, right? Let's just clean this up. We also have this 4 hour fair value gap right here. So we're just kind of looking out like, okay, so the market didn't fulfill these orders right here. So that's why we have this fair value gap right there, is because the market essentially, when it booked price, it moved so fast that people who were trying to get rid of orders out here, let's say you were long, right? And you were hoping, hey, the market's going to go long, right? You had stop losses or maybe you didn't have a stop loss, right? Let's say you were a large institution and you were long for whatever reason, right? I don't know why you'd be long on this market right now, but let's just say you were, okay? So if you were that institution, you would want to cover those longs, right? All right, you're in the red right now. You're going to want price. You want to be able to push price up here so that you can get out of your long positions and sell short to get on the right side of the market. So that's the theory behind, what I'm thinking right now. My thought is price is going to push up into OTE and then down to the minus 27 right here. I like this breaker block. If we push higher, there is this order block right here. My anticipation is not that it will get there, but no, my bad. Hold on. Here we go. We'll do our 4-hour OB. But this is kind of, this is what I'm looking at. I want price to push up beyond this 50% into premium, ideally around OTE and this breaker. If we push a little higher, it'll be into this 4-hour OB, right? Now, hypothetically, could we push beyond that, and do we have other levels beyond? Yeah, we have this fair value gap. We have this fair value gap. This one kind of got filled in. And even went beyond that, right, into this weekly order block. I'm not anticipating that. Could we get it? Sure. Yeah, we could get it. But that's not going to be the first place I look, right? This is the narrative right now. And if the market chooses to take out the buy-side liquidity right here. Now, buy-side liquidity, what I mean is there's stop buys above this level, right? When I'm talking about liquidity, again, I know I'm making this whole video about liquidity today for whatever reason. When we're talking about liquidity, like this is going to be an area of liquidity. We can anticipate stop losses being above here. If you sold short from here and you're still holding, you're trailing your stop here. Boom. All right, market broke down again. Cool. I'm going to trail my stop here. Awesome. Market broke down again. I'm trailing my stop right here. So we can anticipate there to be liquidity above this level. Now, we could go up, take out that liquidity, and then drop. But again, that is not my anticipation. The first thing we're going to think is here's our first level in here. And if the market breaks above that, then we'll go back and we'll reassess. We'll start looking at other areas. Now, we can look at other old order blocks. I guess it's turning in more of a lesson, but whatever. Now, when we're looking at order blocks, the best order blocks, and I talked about this last week, is I like it when there's a fair value gap, an order block, and OTE or something like that, right? The reason being is because the best order blocks are usually what cause a fair value gap or a liquidity void in the market, right? That is the place where price displaced and left a void in the market. Those are going to be the best order blocks because that is where the largest, this is me just thinking out loud, that is where the largest number of orders that were placed that pushed price and displaced price are going to be, right? So if price displaced and has not come back up to fulfill these orders, or if a large institution was long on this market for some reason and needed to cover their loss, right? They need the market to come back up here, they can cover it and then sell short again. So that's why we look at areas like that. I really like this order block because there's big, massive liquidity void, fair value gap. So the best order blocks again are gonna be the point at which price displaced and left a gap in the market, which is why I like this 4-hour order block. Right, this is gonna be the first one I go to. It just so happens though that there is a breaker block right here at the 618 inside a 4-hour fair value gap. I think Casper calls that like a unicorn or something like that. I've never heard that before. I don't know. Maybe that's in an ICT lesson I haven't got to yet, but this is that area I'm looking at, guys. Sorry for the long-winded thing. I just have a lot to say about what's going on in the market right now. My anticipation is we'll rally into Wednesday. Where's Wednesday? That's Monday. There's Wednesday. Yeah, maybe we'll rally into Wednesday before we actually sell off in this market. All right, cool. That's Euro, GBP USD. Again, I don't trade GBP USD. But let's do this. Let's just do this exercise again, right? I'm going to go out to the weekly. I'm going to leave this weekly. I'm just going to delete everything here. Cool, right? Price came up into the 7.8. This is OTE. Pulled back really hard. Now, the interesting thing with GBP USD is we had this kind of a continuation low, but this is the liquidity I'd be targeting for GBP USD. And the way this candle closed right here, I'm just looking for more downside again. Again, it's going to be lining up with the fact that the dollar is strong. The fact that, or rather the anticipation, not the fact, but the anticipation of the Fed maintaining rates. Let me make sure I'm recording this. Cool, still recording. Great. Let's get rid of these guys. Don't need them. Come on. Again, I'm not loving my laptop, guys. I like working on my big computer, but it's just old and it's slow. It's just old and slow. Cool. From a daily perspective, we have no fair value gap there. This is all pretty efficient. The last order block we have is going to be right here on the daily. So let's go ahead and mark that out. DOB. Cool. Let's go down to our 4-hour. We already know that our target, right, for GU is going to be this guy right here. This is our next low. This is the liquidity that we're anticipating to get to. Let's get rid of this. I don't know why this is still here. I thought I deleted everything, but cool. There's our daily order block. Now, what I do like about that, guys, is, we don't have any fair value gap in here. We have no gap in the market, right? The market actually, when it displaced, it came right back up, touched into this order block, and then continued down. I could see an argument. I don't know. For the 4-hour, I could see an argument of a little liquidity right here into this 4-hour fair value gap, which I'm going to mark out right here. And it also kind of lines up with this breaker block right here, right? So this is the bottom of our daily order block. That's not going to be the first place I look, but I do kind of like that as a level. So if price doesn't somehow make its way up there, let's go down the 1 hour real quick. What do we have going on in the 1 hour? Oh man. Okay. So, and inside that 4-hour fair value gap, we also have this 1 hour order block. Okay. All right. There's a little argument happening here. Okay. I like what's happening here. Let me call this out real quick. Let me just do a little call out. We've got now the other thing I need to think about is what does that mean for the euro then, right? Does that mean the euro might raid that liquidity I was talking about? I don't know, right? Are they going to correlate in that way? I don't know. But what are the confluences we have here? We have a daily order block. We have a 4-hour FVG. We have, we also had, what else do we have at the 4-hour level? We had FVG. We do have a breaker. It's not the most immediate thing, but we do have a 4-hour breaker. Okay. 4H breaker. Cool. Let's go down that 1 hour. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm just a little gunky, y'all. Do we have any divergence? Yeah, so we have some divergence on the RSI. So what I mean by divergence is the RSI, the low end of the RSI is kind of trailing up while the bottom end of the price action is trailing down. And it's kind of a last confluence for me. I check it though, like as a potential, like could price make it, start reversing in a way? I mean, it's kind of in between here. This is an interesting level right here, guys. I'm not 100% on it, honestly. Have that 1H order block, OTE. Cool. I mean, that's a lot of confluences, guys, for this area. So if we do make it up there, then cool. I think that'd be a great place to sell. Do I need to put that disclaimer? This is not financial advice. Trade at your own risk. Trading is inherently risky. Whatever. Cool. Check it. So that is a level, honestly, that we should be paying attention to. Now, with how strong that weekly closed, we could definitely see something where price just kind of pulls up into, that's not what I'm looking for. Price just pulls up into here, right? Just kind of pulls up into this order block right here because this is a 1 hour order block. We do have a fair value gap right there. So here's our 1 hour fair value gap right here. So that'd be the first. Actually, this would probably be the first place I look. We didn't kind of fill all this in, but this is the most immediate level. Now let's pull our fib here because there is a few other things that we can look at. And honestly, I'm just doing this live. I have not taken a look at. I don't trade this chart at all. I literally just trade euro, but I know a lot of people trade GBP USD. This is an order block. I mean, look at that. This is not a bad level. Okay. On the larger 4 hour time frame, we have the 50% that puts us into premium. We do have a fair value gap right here. Right here. Right? So we do have that. This is getting super messy, guys. My apologies. So the first level I'd actually be looking at for this is probably somewhere above the 61.8. So I'm kind of looking at two things, I guess, for this. Three things. We got this level. We have this level. Oh man, this one's just tough for me, guys. I'm not gonna trade this. This one literally is just very tough for me. And what makes it tough is that we had this huge spike right here. The fact that price came in, kind of fulfilled those orders, and then continued down. So my first level, I'm gonna look to there first. Beyond that, I'm gonna start looking to here somewhere. This is not my ideal chart though, guys. If you're wondering why I'm looking at this going, I could see this going a lot of ways. We'll just have to correlate it with DXY. You know what I mean? Like, is DXY at a level? Let's go ahead and take a look at DXY. Now, we have a lot of room on DXY actually to come down if we want to retrace a bit. The candle kind of closed pretty strong, but if we break over this high and tap into the 27, that'd be great. But if we don't, if we break below, there's definitely room to come down. We kind of have this breaker block right here that it was tapping into. This breaker block, right? This last green candle before, anyways. So, but I actually could see this guy right here, this level. So, let's move on from GBP USD. I'm not 100% certain on this one. It's super messy. Not loving it. EU seems a lot clearer to me. Yeah, EU just seems a lot clearer to me. What do we have right here? USD JPY. Let's go ahead and clear this. Remove all drawings. Hold on, where are we at? There we go. Cool, let's just remove all drawings on this. Let's go to the weekly. All right, so this is interesting. We did not get to close over this yet. This actually looks kind of choppy even on the weekly, just kind of the way it's pushing and pulling. And we are starting to get a little divergence between this top and this top. But this is still a bullish chart, okay? We have a little bit of fair value gap down here. Not much, but we got one, right? There's our fair value gap. We have tapped into it once, but there's no reason price can't return to it. But this is on a weekly chart, so who knows how long that would take. Wow, price literally closed like dead on at this previous high. So I've got vibes that this is going to pull back this week. I'm not 100%. We can't predict the market 100%. We'll just have to see and wait to see what price gives us, but I'm getting pullback vibes on this big time. I do like the way this, there's liquidity sitting below this, and we have an order block here. So that would probably put us into premium. Like, let's say the market decides to open up bearish. Yeah, I don't hate this level, but I don't know how long it would take for us to get down there on the daily chart. Honestly, that would take forever. So anyways, let's hit down to the 4 hour, see if we can find something a little cleaner, a little clearer. The 4 hour looks pretty good, actually. Yeah, 4 hour looks okay. We didn't tap into this. We tapped into the fair value gap. This is a bit more of a silver bullet play where you're really kind of buying on the underside of the first, or rather the third candle of a fair value gap if you're bullish. So this tapped in right here into this fair value gap and continued on. So we're just going to have to see with this one. Again, this one seems a little less clear to me. The most immediate play for this one, as far as I can see, and if you play UJ, let me know. I don't play this one much. I've played it successfully a couple times, but I think the most immediate trade is right here. Again, the best order blocks, in my opinion, are the one that causes displacement, which this one did, right? It pushed up, displaced these highs where there was liquidity likely, and then it left a fair value gap. So we have a fair value gap, we have displacement, we have an order block. My first look is going to be here, and this kind of correlates with I have a video on my Instagram. It's also on my YouTube at the King's Capital, but you're watching me here already. They call it as easy as 1, 2, 3, and literally it's just trying to break price down, or trading price in 3 simple steps, which is displacement, right? Price pushes, leaves a fair value gap, and my anticipation would be that price is going to come back down, maybe fill in the gap, pick up orders at the discount 50% or OTE 61.8 into this order block right here before continuing higher. That's going to be the most immediate play, I think, for UJ coming into this week. We'll see if it happens. But assuming if price continues higher from here, we'll see. But if price decides to pull back, this might be the first place I would look if I were you. If not, we do have a fair value gap down here as well as liquidity sitting below this. If you were long on this, you're probably trailing your stop below. Go back to the beginning of the video where I was explaining liquidity. If you're still wondering about that, that'd be my first look. All right, USD CAD. Man, USD CAD got me this week, guys. It got me, and then it ended the week strong and then pulling back hard into this order block. But again, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to remove the drawings, guys. We're going to start from scratch. I think it's time. Sometimes you got to clean your charts and start over. Sometimes all the stuff on your charts is telling you a story that maybe isn't there anymore. So sometimes you just got to clean it up. We did displace this high. No, we didn't displace this high. We did close above it, but we've rated the liquidity above here. There is an order block that we have to be mindful of on USD CAD. Now, I'm still bullish on the dollar, but I know the stuff going on with Saudi Arabia, or the Saudis, and them limiting oil production. The fact that the U.S. government is like the enemy of oil, apparently. We're closing pipelines, refineries, etc. Our government is not friendly to it. It makes me think, okay, and gas prices are higher. Like the oil could be pushing higher. And why does oil affect USD CAD? Because the Canadian dollar is tied to oil. So something to be mindful of. Yeah, the dollar is bullish. The DXY is bullish, but that may not necessarily correlate with USD CAD 100% because of what's going on macroeconomically. So we have pushed up into this order block level. We broke these lows, pushed up into this order block. Could we expect more downside? Yes, we could. But here's the range we're playing in, okay? Here's our range. We're here. And we're here. And we're on the top side of this range we got going right here. So I'm going to anticipate a pullback for this. Again, and that could correlate actually with EU as well. This is a weekly chart, so let's go down to the daily, see if we can't find a clearer picture. Did we hold this level on the daily? No, we didn't. So, okay, that's fine. It's trying to hold, but we did get that close right here. This candle did close below this low just barely. So that's something to be mindful of. Let's see if I can find a level for us on here somewhere. Yeah, if we continue to push down, man, I can hear my chickens outside, guys. They're so noisy lately. I don't know what's up with them. One of them's molting too. It's like so ugly. It looks so ugly. I guess that's what happens when the birds molt, though, huh? All right, daily. I kind of like that level. And here, I'll tell you why I like that level is just because it's correlating with, this right here. We've got candles. This is a bit of a breaker block in through here, so I kind of like that level. I'm not sold on anything yet. This did close. Cool. Down to the 4 hour. Let me get rid of this. I don't want to see that. Okay. With the expectation that there could be more downside. Again, I know we're bullish on the dollar, but this did get the close below. Check it. We have this potential order block right here. Look, I could be completely wrong on this too. Like, I'm not sold on this, and my apologies for being unclear about a few charts. Euro USD looks super clear to me. Maybe that's a bad thing, Maybe I'm just reading it wrong. That's why it seems so clear. But this one, I could anticipate a push up into here. We got a fair value gap right here. And I love how this correlates with our OTE, in premium, fair value gap, order block. So we got quite a few confluences coming into this level. If we're going to continue down, again, we did start closing below these levels, and who knows? I don't know. I hate to say that so much in one video. I don't know, because I know people watch these things looking for direction on everything, but you can't know 100%, guys. Like, that's just part of the game. You can't know 100%. But if I was to put my money on something, if I was a betting man, if I was going to play the lotto, we pulled up into this larger order block up here. Oil macroeconomically is expensive, even though the dollar's strong. Okay, and here we go. We have another fair value gap right here on the daily. You see, guys, sometimes it's not as easy as you think, right? Like, okay, let me go ahead and pull this in. We got a daily FVG. Sometimes it just isn't that clear. You kind of have to sit on a chart, kind of start dissecting it and pulling it apart, and it might take you some time. Okay, not every chart you look at is going to take you like 3 seconds to break down. Some of them you might have to work a little harder for. 4-hour FVG. Cool. I would love to see a pull up into this level before further downside. First target would be the minus 27. Now, we do have a level here at the minus 27, but I do like how the 618 correlates with our levels here. All right, remember our levels I was talking about? We got kind of these breakers and this order block. And now below that, there is a fair value gap, so that is something kind of interesting to look at. But we did get that close. I don't know. That's to me, that's very convincing for more downside. That is very convincing for more downside. The fact that we closed below this, like it's right on it, but it's just below it, guys. Let me know your thoughts. If you're out there and you trade USD CAD, I trade it sometimes. I have a love-hate relationship. Like, I want to trade this one very well. And some of my biggest trades have been on USD CAD, but they've come after I've been stopped out on it like 2 or 3 times, and then I get the big trade, right? So it's chopped me up before. Okay, yeah, you know what I also like about this too? Like, we have this breaker right here. So there's a lot of confluence in this area right here. So I'd be looking at price. I'm going to set an alert. I'd be watching price in this area. If we start seeing price turn around, like on a 30-minute chart, we see price create a pivot point and then confirm with that 4th candle. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a video on my Instagram at the King's Capital. I'll plug it again, where I talk about swing points, right? And then how to confirm a swing point, right? You got 3 candles that give you a potential swing point, but if that 4th one goes in the direction of the potential swing, then you've got some confirmation on that. I'd be looking for that here for sure. Let's see if we get it. Otherwise, it can just keep rallying. That's possible too. All right, crypto. What's up, crypto? Okay. Don't hate this. I don't hate this. Look at, we got some absorption into this wick. This is a bullish candle. Let me get rid of this. Here's my next anticipation for this. We did get closes below this, right? So I'm still anticipating downside, but now I'm thinking that we will potentially pull up into this order block where the gap was left in the market here. Let me get rid of this because this is kind of the range we're playing in, right? This is literally, we're just in a range. So we're at the bottom side of this range. My anticipation is that we push up into the premium side of this range before further downside. I'm still bearish on things with crypto. Like, I'm not looking for heavy buys just yet. If I was to scale in and start dollar cost averaging, it's going to be below 20K for sure. Is 10K on the market? I think that still is, but for sure 16K. I want to see this level right here, this 18 to 16 and a half below. I want to see us get there, and then I'll start looking pretty hard. But XRP. Man, did I talk about this yet? That's a monthly chart. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, nothing's changed. Honestly, crypto is kind of boring right now. Maybe it's not to you. Maybe you trade this actively, but I think this still stands. I think we push up into this order block right here, and then we continue down. H bar. Is anything going on? Okay, yeah, it looks like a lot of crypto is starting to get a little push to the upside. We'll see how long that lasts, if we're going to get, if we're going to start sweeping some liquidity, or if we're just kind of pushing up to kind of get a little more sell side. But H-bar, nice little bull candle here. So we'll just see. I have an order block right here on a lower time frame. I think it's like a daily order block. Oh, there's a daily order block there, isn't there? But 4 hour? 4 hour order block? What order block is this? Weekly? I don't know what that is, guys. I think that's just the top of the fair value gap. That's all that is. I did that like so long ago. I feel like I did that forever ago. Sometimes I look at the chart and I'm like, when did I do that? I don't remember that. That's just the top side of the fair value gap. So we're filling in this fair value gap. We do have this large order block here. Again, I'm expecting more downside from crypto until proven otherwise. Same thing. Same thing still stands here for Casper, ADA, sweeping kind of these lows a little bit. But again, same thing, man. ADA looks a little more like there's a lot more accumulation going on, maybe. Just the sideways movement. Look at Casper again. I mean, yeah, dude, all this stuff is just accumulating right now. I would still like to see more downside, but we're just kind of accumulating. So keep that in mind, guys. If you're into crypto, this just looks like sideways accumulation, right? Let's look at SPY real quick. Now played SPY to the downside this week for some money, just a little bit of money, nothing crazy. SPY in the weekly closed below this candle, absolutely bearish. We were targeting the 442.75, which we almost got on Friday. If we can sweep the liquidity on the daily below 442.75, our next level on the daily time frame is going to be 435. How long it takes to get there, I don't know. But we have this candle pattern right here. This is absolutely bearish. We had a swing low right here that we have closed below. I would like to see us close below that level right there. Yeah, just bearish, guys. If I was to look for a trade, this is just a huge liquidity void. I would love to see a rally. Maybe not into this gap, but maybe into this this order block. We also have this one here as well, so it could just be a short little rally into this order block because we have fair value gap right here. Into that order block, there's probably some kind of OTE or premium right there. Yeah. So in this zone, I would be looking for price to start turning around. There, we have liquidity being engineered above these highs right here, right? We kind of have some equal highs going. So if price can kind of come down, come back up, pick up some orders there before continuing down, I would love to see that close before 42.75. So that's what I'm looking at for SPY. Let's just go back to EU real quick. This is, again, EU is my bread and butter. This is the chart I think it looks really clean. This is the pair that I play all the time. Every morning I wake up, guys. I do a video journal. So I wake up, I turn my mic on, I start breaking down the chart, what happened in London, right? Where's my high? Where's my low? And what kind of play am I looking for? And I talk myself through it like out loud as a video journal. And then I do stuff like what I did earlier in this week where I did a trade review. And then I start reviewing the trades and I see like, well, where did I mess up in my trade? And usually it's dumb stuff. It's like stuff that in hindsight, I'm like, man, I should have known better. I just wasn't patient or I wasn't disciplined enough. And you're going to find yourself coming across that kind of thing. It's good. But I like to do a video journal of all that stuff. For me, it's a little bit better than just kind of writing it down. It's a little bit better for me than writing it down. So you got to find what works for you. But if you're not journaling, you're missing out for sure. And I think long-term, you're gonna struggle to be profitable. Because you're long-term, you're just not going to understand yourself in the market as well. So you got to know yourself. Cool. Here's what I'm looking at, guys. I'll leave you with this chart. This is the main play I'm looking for this week. If we can rally Monday, Tuesday into this, and if we can get the kind of Fed news we're anticipating, I would anticipate price rallying in order to cover any longs that were made, and then for selling short into Wednesday. So, all right, y'all. God bless you guys. Hope you trade safe and just have a good week. Enjoy your trading week. Peace.